Hello, I am here with a book report or a book review. Now, yesterday I finished Little Women by Louise Alcott. Now, this book is really good. It was made in 1944, and this copy is a 1947 copy. It's really pretty. Anyway, so it has 546 pages, and I read it in like a month or 2 months or something, because it had a lot of chapters, 38 per day, so a lot of chapters in there. But they have two parts. The first part is when the children or the girls basically are growing up. It's a coming of age story on it. The first part is a coming of age story. When they're growing up, learning some things that you have to learn when you grow up, stuff like that. The second part is more like when you're already grown up and what you experience when you're already growing up. Like what you experience during marriage or when you how to get a job or stuff like that, what you want to do with the rest of your life. This book has 4 main characters, follows the story of 4 characters. And a lot of people think this book is a story of Joe. Not really. It's actually the story of all 4 characters. We have Joe, the imaginative tomboy who wants to read and write. Meg, who's more of a sensitive girl, and she's like a popular type, and she's pretty, and she's homely and stuff like that. She becomes more motherly too. Beth, who's kind of headstrong. She's also ahead of her years. She's kind of takes life in as it is, that kind of stuff. And Amy, who's caring, and she's caring for other people, and then she becomes like very glamorous stuff. And then of course there's Miss March. In the first part, Miss March is basically all throughout all of the book. You know, she talks about her children. You know, she gives advice to her children. She's the woman who is, what do you call it? The woman who is wise, that you can trust her advices. So, anyway, the next thing, and that's the characters. Those are the characters. There's also some secondary characters like Laurie, who jumps in very much in the first part, and he's mainly a main character, but I consider him a secondary character because he's not really in the March family. But he becomes part of the March group because he hangs out with the girls a lot. He plays with the girls, and then, in the book, he eventually becomes, a really good main character, and his relationship with Joe is a really special one. So, read it to find out. Mr. Brooke is another secondary character. He is like a advisor, and then there's Mr. Bayer, who is also in like the second part, and he's like a teacher and stuff. March is basically, she's the aunt, and she's rich, and she helps the March family, with their being successful. Mr. Lawrence is, of course, Lori's grandfather, and he's helping Lori, and he's also rich. He's powerful and rich. Okay, the next things we're gonna kind of go over are the themes. There's a lot of themes in this book, and some of the ones that I really kept saying over and over are these: growing up. This is obviously a story of growing up or coming of age, where you are a child and you're getting into the world of adulthood. There's a lot of imagination in the first part. They write plays, they put on puppet shows, they really are imaginative. These girls are very imaginative. I mean, they didn't have TV or, something else, other stuff. So they had to, make plays or do, pretend, So, coming of age, which is obviously the first part, as I said. There's a lot of friendship in the movie, in the book, not movie, book. There's a lot of friendship. There's Joe and Louise' friendship mainly, and some of the other friendship between the girls and the mom and the girls. Friendship or, favorite friendship. There's also poverty. Now, in this book, they are poor. But what's interesting is they're not poor in a way that you say, oh, I'm poor, and you're, sad that they're poor. You're actually not minding that they're poor or they live in poverty. They are making do with what they have. So it's an interesting take on the whole thing. I think Miss March works, but we don't know where necessarily. It is never mentioned. The dad is off, in the war. We know that, but we don't know how they get their income and why they're so poor and stuff like that. But we know they're poor. They talk about it constantly in the book, but they don't say why they're poor. They just talk about it constantly. Also, there's a lot of independency. The girls grow up and try to find out what they need in life, and I guess how to be independent in life. So how to get a job they want, or do what they want to do, travel the world, that kind of stuff. So, being more independent is in this book. Another theme is helping other people. A lot of the characters help other people. They help, the poor, or, Meg, Joe, Beth, everybody kind of tries to help other people. Some people are self-absorbed, but not a lot of people are self-absorbed. There's a lot of, Mr. Lawrence is trying to help the March's family, Beth tries to help this other poor family, that, stuff like that. Everybody's trying to kind of help each other, help the other people. Another theme is that this book kind of takes place in the past. So it has, the women are the ones that stay home. The men are the breadbearers. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to talk about the writing. And the writing is really, really, really good. It's like an old style of writing, so it's kind of, you have to really read. If you're not used to that kind of writing, you have to read it kind of slowly. It is old style. They use different words to mean how we would write now. It would be differently. It would be written differently than what it was in the past, because we use different words and stuff. There is accents in the story. There's a lot of accents, which I really like in the story, and stuff like that. it allows to have flavor and stuff. Also, the first section, not the second section of the book, but the first section of the book, it closes like a play, and I will give you an example. Hold on. It closes like a play, so that's 240. And it closes like a play. So it says, so grouped, the curtain falls upon Meg, Jo, and Beth and Amy. Whether it rises again depends upon the reception given to the first act of the domestic drama called Little Women. So it kind of closes off like a play, you know. You see this childlike curtain close, and then the adult curtain kind of open and stuff. And that's the only, it's not in the second act or the second part, but it's definitely in the first part. The next thing is watching when you read that, we're kind of watching the characters. It's not told from a perspective of Jo, Meg, and Beth. It's kind of told by someone like an outsider, someone who knows the characters, who knows what they're thinking, but kind of an outsider, almost. It also sometimes tells the story with letters and journals, so they have parts of the story that are told that way. And it is a really good book. I give this book an A-. And why might you say give it an A-, not just an A? Well, it's partly because of one person, and that is the dad. I think a dad plays an essential role in a family story, and I didn't really see him develop as a character that much. He was in there 3 times throughout the book, and, you know, and I didn't really remember his scenes very well. You know, it wasn't, you know, just extraordinary. One was when he was back, but, you know, that's pretty extraordinary. But then it was like he never really existed in the first place. After that, we never see him. And then we see him 2 more times after that. And it's like he just gives little snippets of advice. He doesn't, like, actually talk to the girls. And it's really interesting because I think he would make an essential role to a fatherly figure for the girls, and kind of, you know, to really, you know, if he had more of a part in the story. And that's about it. So this is actually 9 stars, not A-. I don't know why I said that. I was thinking something else. Anyway, this is a not 4 out of 5. What was it called? 9 out of 10 stars because of that. I did really like the story, and I love the characters. So I suggest you read it if you like old time classics, or if you just want to read something that is taking place in a time period where we don't really live in anymore. And I really like this book, so I suggest you read it. Thumbs up. So happy reading, okay?